All right. Hello, good people, and welcome to sprint 48 of YakShaver. We are going to kick it off. Yeah, so good news. First off, our sprint goal is done. So being able to manage projects inside the client portal. So at the moment, SSW uses the projects from our Dynamics, but not all clients will have Dynamics. So we needed a more generic way to do that. So the whole front-end side and back-end side of that is done, which is great. Some little feedback stuff has come out of that, which is yet to do, but the MVP is done. So people working. This sprint was Rick, Stephen, Tom full-time, and Lewis part-time. Is that right, Lewis? Yep. Cool. All right, PBI is done. So I will switch over to GitHub for that.
Like lots of duns there. That's good.
Lots of duns. Everyone loves lots of duns. So let me zoom in here. So here we go. First off, adding GitHub authorization command for Teams. So as you know, Adam, we can now create GitHub items on behalf of ourselves using YakShaver, as opposed to YakShaver itself getting the credit and the green on the profile to say that they did it. But in order for each person to take advantage of that, they have to authorize YakShaver to work on their behalf. So that exists, but now there is a command where if you type, I thought there was a screenshot here. If you type GitHub into this, it will bring up the authorization box for you to do that. There's a stretch goal, which I've asked for, which is that if you try to make a PBI in GitHub, it will, the first time you do that, it'll pop up with the, would you like to authorize YakShaver to do this on your behalf? If you say yes, you'll get the green, and then that will work from then on. If you say no, it'll just do it the old way, and YakShaver will make it instead.
Okay, all right.
Understand that?
Just a general tip, I would zoom in a bit tighter, just so we can read on those screenshots.
All right, next one, Enter ID integration. So,
It's amazing to see all the PBIs you're working on were actually generated by YakShaver.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Rick, there's no screenshot for this one? Oh, is this a screenshot?
No, there isn't.
Oh, okay, cool. I think you showed it to me in the actual portal before.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, no worries. So guys, actually it's a good tip for next time, because when I'm doing the summaries, I'm pretty much going to be going through these things here. Make sure you put easy to see screenshots in here. But basically, guys, in the client portal now, there is a integration section, and there's a new line item that wasn't there before for Enter ID. Now, Enter ID is a bit different, because if you don't do it, you can't use YakShaver, as opposed to if you don't use GitHub or Azure DevOps, they're optional. So we're going to have to we've added a PBI into the backlog to make a kind of wizard for first-time configuration to make sure that people don't miss that step. All right, GitHub integration. So there was a problem for, that's a small one. There was a bug when you were trying to close an issue in a backlog that you didn't have permission to close, because for instance, the Tina CMS public repo, people can add PBIs, but they can't delete them. So we had to work out a way to handle that. That's done. Some build errors fixed. Implement user details page. Okay, have we got screenshots for these? Tom? Yes, brilliant. Okay, so this is what the user details page looks like at the moment. We have to ask for the GitHub username. We don't need that in Azure DevOps because that comes from Enter ID, but we need it for if they want to use GitHub.
I'm just going to refer, Tom, that the screen is plain but nice. But just if you look at the rule, it's label, text box, label, text box. There's not, it's not on the next line. So just have a look at what the standard is, but it's slightly off the standard.
Cool. Got that, Tom?
Yeah.
Cool.
And look, obviously it looks very neat, but Tom, just put an emoji on, user details, like a headshot or something so there's a tiny bit of bling.
Cool. All right, so this is what the the actual project table looks like at the moment. So this didn't exist last week. Now it exists. We've got, if there's more than 3 people, it has name, 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 and then +1, +2, +3, if there's more. So no screenshot here. You can see in there the assigned users to each project as well. By the way, assigned users in this case, Tom, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's actually just people who are going to be CC'd on items that get created. Is that right?
Yeah, so we have the primary contact and then the members, which is basically the CC list.
Yeah, okay, cool. So that's what assigned users means. So this is the users overview page. We've already gotten asked to get rid of the pluses here because they don't make sense here. So you just see 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then you mouse over it and it tells you what those are. I think this was just, is this everything?
Yeah, that was like the parent.
Yeah, the parent PBIs. Yeah, so this is, we've kind of covered that then. Enhance YakShaver, that's also the same. So verify YouTube channel to extend daily upload limit. Okay, so we've gone from 10 videos per day to 100 videos per day, but that's still not going to be sufficient once this hits the mainstream and we have millions of people using it daily. So we are going to have to, we've had to rethink how we're going to do video hosting. Adam, I know you really wanted YouTube, but YouTube's only going to work per client or potentially per project. The good news is, I know the reason you wanted YouTube is so that people could have public access to the videos if you want to share the work items. We can achieve that with, what's it called? The streaming platform we were using, Rick?
SharePoint.
Yeah. So we can achieve that with SharePoint. There's just a configuration option to basically say that it's like an unlisted YouTube video and it's public. It's publicly viewable. But we're still going to have YouTube for if people want to use YouTube themselves.
Yeah,
but then
I definitely want myself.
Yeah, but if we started using YakShaver too much, you can use YouTube. YouTube has a limit of number of videos. What we could do though is we could set channels per company. We don't have 100 per day at the moment, but we have almost that. So we could set it per project. Then you wouldn't have that problem. It'll be a config option. But yes, just FYI, for a scalable solution for NDC, we're going to have to push it back to SharePoint.
Wouldn't every client want their own YouTube channel to put videos on?
Well, they're all unlisted videos, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I imagine you would want the video to be uploaded to your own YouTube channel rather than some other random one you don't have control over. Like, what if you want to delete it or something?
Yeah, so we did say that was one of the options, was in the configuration of your company, you'd be able to specify your own YouTube channel.
Yeah, I feel like that should be the only option rather than having a centralized channel.
No, they would have their own SharePoint location. So we're using Teams. We're tightly coupled with Teams. Teams runs on SharePoint, so we can use SharePoint.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, they will have the option to use YouTube if they prefer, but they'd have to give us a channel. I don't think, Rick, tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think we can programmatically spin up YouTube channels and verify them.
That's potentially doable, but we're not doing that at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, so add revoke authorization feature to YakShaver GitHub app. I can't remember what this was. Stephen, what was that one?
Yeah, so when a user authorizes GitHub app, we store the token in our database. So this PBI is to remove the token when user revokes the authorization. So our app don't use the expired token.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we needed APIs for the project management stuff as well. So moving back to the email. Any questions about the done PBIs?
No, awesome.
Okay, cool. All right, code coverage has dropped a bit. We're down at 23.5. We had 5 deployments, and only the last one broke everything. So we have a fair few errors, more than usual. So we've got 2 PBIs here, which are both in the next sprint to solve that.
So there's a lot of pink growing before you have the big problem.
Yes.
Did the prior pink indicate that there was going to be a bigger problem?
No, actually, those pink ones are when we doing the service integration, we got errors during the development. So those errors were fine, were expected. So that's not related to what we have on production now.
Right. Okay.
So leaderboard, we've got Levi, Josh, and Tiago being the main power users outside of the team. I'm kind of proud of my 39 though, because none of that's tests. That's all real stuff.
That's awesome. Where's Callum and Gert?
Yeah, Callum. Yeah, Gert. What's up? There's Gert. Hi, Gert.
I'm right here. What? Yeah, I know. I need to use it more.
By the way, this project management stuff that we're doing will allow, as a byproduct, will allow us to use this for existing clients, because we'll be able to add their projects into our project list. So that'll be cool. So product roadmap, we've got a new PBI. So we've split out all the sort of required client tenant setup stuff that's required for NDC into its own PBI. And we're already at 53% of that PBI. I don't trust it. The guys tell me that's legit. I don't know. That seems too good to be true. We'll see. This next sprint's looking pretty good, so maybe. All right, so retro points. Main gist of the retro is that we made a lot of progress on multi-tenancy stuff. It's kind of, I guess we already had the backend stuff sorted for the most part. So we went kind of a long way in the front end this sprint. Other than that, we broke production, obviously, which is terrible, but we'll fix that straight away. And we need a better solution for video editing because YouTube's not going to work at scale. Cool. All right, moving on to planning. So our next sprint. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right. Okay, so our plan for this next sprint. Our sprint goal is to be ready for an end-to-end test. Theoretically, if we get everything done this sprint, we are and we're then ready to start, testing to see that it's going to work for NDC. So that's optimistic, I think, but we'll see how we go. This one here is the one that's going to fix the fact that it's currently broken. We're going to get a little bit of Josh's time towards the end of the week. Gert, I believe he's negotiating that with you. Yep, because he's making some fairly major changes. Yes, we'll pay you all the money. He's making some fairly major changes to what the homepage will look like. So that will be good to get done by NDC. By the way, once this whole thing is done, the next big cab off the rank is this whole kind of try it now feature on the website. So we'll probably need a bit of Josh's time at that point as well. So not this sprint, next sprint. Okay, so we need to sync projects with GitHub. We need to be able to import project data from other sources via a CSV, so that if people do already have this data, they don't have to enter it manually. So us, for instance, although we're going to pull in from Dynamics. So there's a problem with the GitHub integration. Project sync is causing an error. There's a JSON deserialization issue, which apparently is nasty. I don't know what that means, but Rick always sounds very dubious when he talks about this one. Iteration path error when creating a PBI. Okay, let's fix that. The 500 error, so this is all the pink that we talked about earlier. That's that one. Cost optimization. So the sysadmins, this is important for everyone to know, the sysadmins have been complaining that we set ourselves a $40 daily budget for YakShaver inference, so Azure costs for YakShaver, and it's been exceeded quite a lot. Not by it's been regularly exceeded. So it's a $40 limit, and it normally sits around $70, $80. So at the moment, maybe we're not being maximally efficient with our use of the AI models, and we're spending too much on Azure AI. So Rick's already got ideas. He reckons he can bring that down by about half, which is, again, maybe a bit optimistic, but will be good to see. Otherwise, we may also just want, now that we set that budget before we had the entire company using it, so maybe we just want to increase the budget a bit too. So we need a test tenant. Now, Rick, help me out here. Is this for the try it now feature, or is this for something else?
Yes, this could potentially for the trying out feature, but also for internal testing as well.
Okay. All right, cool. And then we need to sync our projects with Azure DevOps. We already did one for GitHub. I told you about that little issue where it said +1 when it should just say 1. That's an easy one. And yeah, you need to be able to handle multiple GitHub accounts. So all of this, the only thing I took out, because we're sitting at 58 story points here, and our capacity was 60. The one I took out so that we would be under 60 is the end-to-end test. So literally, if we get all this done, we're ready to actually see it in anger, which is great. So that is everything. This video, hang on, I'm not Rick. This video will be on our YouTube playlist. Guys, thank you very much.
Thanks, Julie. That was awesome.
All right.
Thanks, guys.